What is up, everybody? This is Power to Womxn, and this is the 32nd episode. Let's freaking go. Today's a very exciting episode, I would say. I knew of this person before I started researching her, but I didn't know exactly what she did. I just heard her name before, so I was really glad to learn everything about her, because she is an amazing woman that I didn't know, But before we begin, like always, I need to introduce you to my very, very special friend of the show today, Queenie. So this is Queenie. She is an English ivy. So this is the first plant that I actually knew what she was. But she just looks like a queenie, you know what I mean? Oh, there goes a leaf. Damn, Queenie. You gonna put that back on top? Oh, no, guess she didn't want that again. This is just a little plant. This is not my plant. This is my brother's plant again. So thank you. Shout out to my brothers for letting me borrow their plant for the day. But yeah. And I have my little cup here. It says Dream. Got some good stuff in there. So yeah, so that's what's on my desk today, which is kind of cool, you know what I mean? I guess it's time to get into the freaking person I'm talking about. The person I'm talking about today is somebody that is brilliant. She is inspiring me because she kind of did what, like something in her life was very similar to mine. Okay. But without further ado, let me introduce you to Jane Goodall. Woohoo! So Jane was born April 3rd, 1934, and thankfully she's still freaking alive and still kicking it, still living her best life. She's an amazing woman. Let's start from the beginning of her life and her personal life to start with, and then I'll get into what she's known for, basically. So she was born in Hampstead, London, so she is English. And this is the English Ivy, so I didn't even make that connection until now, but that's kind of cool that it's like English Ivy, she's an English woman, which is really cool. But anyway, so she was born in London, and as a child, her father actually gave her a stuffed chimpanzee instead of like a stuffed teddy bear that most people would actually give their kids, but she was given a stuffed chimpanzee named Jubilee. And that's so freaking cute. And just remember that, because that's foreshadowing something if you don't know who Jane Goodall is. So just keep that in mind, okay? So, yeah. So I don't really know if she has any siblings, anything like that. I didn't find any information on that. So let's just move into her personal life then. So she's been married 2 times, and from her first marriage, she actually had a son. So she has 1 kid, and sadly that first marriage ended in divorce, and then she got married to a second guy. But sadly, again, this guy actually died of cancer, which is super sad and unfortunate. Currently, I'm not sure if Jane is seeing anybody. She's not remarried, I know that, but I'm not sure if she's seeing anybody or what's going on with that. But that's kind of like some personal stuff with her, I guess. So to get into what she's known for and why a lot of people are looking up to her and have been inspired by her is because she is an English primatologist and anthropologist. So this means that she studies primates, and primates are like monkeys and gorillas, apes, chimpanzees, and that sort. Okay, see, I told you that stuffed chimpanzee was gonna come in handy because it's foreshadowing. But she has spent 60 plus years working with chimpanzees and other primates and doing her anthropology and stuff like that, which is 60 years is a hell of a long time, but she's still kicking it, which is amazing. So she actually started to study chimpanzees, and once she started studying them, she noticed that their social and family interactions were very, very similar to humans, which is wild because before that, nobody knew, like, nobody really thought that monkeys or chimpanzees were that smart. They just thought, oh, they're just a monkey. You know, they don't have social interactions, they don't have family units, they don't have any of that. But Jane actually found the opposite of that, and that really, like, extended the study of how we think of chimpanzees and other animals for that fact also. So she first started interacting with wild chimpanzees in the Gombe Stream National Park in Tanzania in 1960. And there she witnessed human-like behaviors amongst chimpanzees, and she also noticed armed conflict, which is very unusual, but I have more on that here in a little bit. She first started her work as like a primatologist and anthropologist in Africa. She really loved Africa and all the animals in Africa and everything about it because it's beautiful there. You know, I've never been, but I've seen pictures, and the pictures look freaking beautiful. But when she was there in Africa, she started to telephone this guy named Louis Leakey, and she just wanted to call him because he was a famous anthropologist and primatologist of that time, and she called him up just to talk about animals, you know, just to be like, hey, you know, let's talk about some cute little tigers or something like that, you know. But instead, Louis actually was the one who eventually sent her to Tanzania. So she was in Africa before she started studying chimpanzees and all that. But Louis actually, like, helped her do that, you know what I mean? Which is freaking amazing that somebody took that chance on her and helped her out, you know? But Louis actually sent her to college for anthropology and primatology. So she went to Newnham College, Cambridge, and obtained a Bachelor's of Arts, and proceeded to Darwin College, Cambridge, where she then obtained a PhD in ethology. And fun fact, she was the 8th person to be allowed in the study for a PhD there at that college before she, like, without first having obtained a Bachelor's of Arts or a Bachelor's of Science. So she was actually working towards her PhD before she even had a Bachelor's of Arts, which is freaking amazing. And that goes to say, like, she is freaking smart, you know what I mean? And that's freaking amazing. And also Louis, like, shout out to Louis for freaking sending her to college because that's freaking amazing. But that's where she got her education, and that's the education she got. So Louis sent her on her first trip, and these trips were called the Trimates trip, which I'm not sure why they were called the Trimates, not really sure, but she sent her on that, and, well, he sent her on that, and her mother actually accompanied Jane because the, like, liability or something like that, where they had to have somebody there with them. So her mother actually went with her, and she credits her mother with encouraging her to pursue a career in primatology. Because the reason that that's so important was because primatology at that time was a very, very male-dominated field, and Jane stated that women were not accepted in the field at that time, but because she, like, did it and she was a primatologist, a very famous primatologist on top of that, she has actually pushed it. So today, the numbers of male to female primatologists are pretty much even, which is freaking amazing because to think just, 60 years ago that was, maybe 80, it was pretty much a male-dominated field, but now it's not, which is freaking amazing. And that's why I said, like, I kind of was very inspired by Jane, just because, like, she went into a male-dominated field. So am I, you know. On my team, I am the only female, which is kind of weird, but, you know, it is what it is. And, like, I just thought that was cool that she had a similar experience that I did, and that I know that I can get through it too, and that I also might be encouraging other women to go into IT fields and IT careers, because it's very important, because technology is the way to go now, and to have more women into the IT field would be amazing, and it should be encouraged. It should be. So if you want to get into IT, computers, networking, hit me up and I'll try to help however I can, you know, because I think that's really important for women to get out there in male-dominated fields, or vice versa. Males go out and be into female-dominated fields, because there are female-dominated fields, and there should be more males in there, you know. There shouldn't be any gender-dominated field. You know what I mean? There should just be a job, and anybody should do it, and there should not be any discrimination against what type of gender you are or anything like that, because that's just not right. You know what I mean? But yeah, so her mother accompanied her on her first trip, which is comforting. You know, I think I would like to have my mom on my first trip, because that would kind of be safer. You know what I mean? But I don't know, because I don't know, like, the type of terrain they were, like, going through or anything like that. But yeah, so that was kind of cool. So when she eventually actually made it to Tanzania, where she did her first big discovery with the chimpanzees, she was only 26. 26 years old. That is not that old. And that's freaking amazing that she was actually able to do that and study all that stuff, you know, because that's amazing. I hope I get the chance at 26 to do something amazing like that, you know. So to talk about her main study, the Tanzania study, where she made the biggest discoveries of her career, basically. So at that time, most primatologists, when they were studying chimpanzees or any animal in that fact, they would just number the animal, because it would, like, so that way the primatologist wouldn't be emotionally attached to that animal. But instead, Jane took a different approach on this study. She actually gave each chimpanzee in the family unit that she was with a name, which is really cool. And she she identified their personalities, their different personalities, because they do have different personalities, and she gave them names for that, which is freaking amazing. One of the biggest findings that she found when she was there was, and I quote, "It isn't only human beings who are capable of rational thought and emotions like joy and sorrow. She has also observed behaviors such as hugs, kisses, pats on the back, and even tickling, what we consider human actions. She insists that all these gestures are evidence of the close, supportive, affectionate bonds that develop between family members and other individuals within a community, which can persist throughout a lifespan of more than 50 years. These findings suggest that similarities between humans and chimpanzees exist in more than genes alone, and can be seen in emotion, intelligence, and family and social relationships," which is freaking amazing. So she found that chimpanzees are pretty much like us. You know what I mean? She even found that some of them make tools. So they'll take branches and take the twigs off the branches and use that branch to do something with it. You know, either dig a hole or, you know, I don't know what chimpanzees do, but they actually made tools, which way back in the day when she was doing this, the way they separated monkeys, chimpanzees, and all that from humans is that humans were man-making tools. Chimpanzees did not. But now, Jane just found out that they are. So does that mean chimpanzees are humans? If that's how they separated them, you know? But no, they had to change the separation. So she actually had to change a whole category of how we categorize a whole species. Multiple species, even ourselves. She had to change the way we categorize humans, because humans aren't the only mammal out there who are making tools to help them, which is very fascinating and to learn about, because it's if chimpanzees are out there doing this, who else is out there doing this? You know, what other animals are doing something like this? You know, maybe not to the extent of breaking twigs off a branch and using the branch to dig a hole, but what if they're doing something else? You know what I mean? So it's very fascinating, and it opens a ton of doors to new questions and new possibilities that we can try to figure out, you know, and hopefully we do figure it out, but in a peaceful and kind way, you know, because we don't want to be going into these animal enclosures or animal habitats and just disturbing them. You know, that's not the right way to study these animals. And she actually got a lot of criticism for this study because she was actually feeding these chimpanzees. So they were doing self-feeding, so they would bring food in for the chimpanzees, and this kind of showed, like, this, a lot of people criticized that because they said that the only reason that these animals are acting like that is because you're feeding them. It's like, maybe they're doing, like, some stuff because you're feeding them, but for the most part, animals aren't going to act different because a human is, like, around. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're going to act different, but they're not going to, like, because they trusted her. So, fun fact, Jane is the only human ever alive to be accepted into a chimpanzee tribe, which is amazing. So they trusted her, you know what I mean? So I truly believe that her findings were real and they weren't just driven because she was feeding the chimpanzees. I truly believe that she discovered that chimpanzees are more like us than we thought, which is freaking amazing. So she also found out that chimpanzees actually eat other monkeys. So they're not vegetarian, because before that, all the primatologists thought chimpanzees were vegetarian. It's not true. They eat bugs. Like I said, they eat other monkeys sometimes, like smaller ones and all that. And sometimes the females will eat the babies because of, like, dominance and all that. So they're not vegetarian. So that was another huge discovery that opened the eyes of how chimpanzees live, you know, open our eyes, which is amazing. So in 1977, after her study was over, Goodall established the Jane Goodall Institute, which supports the Gombe research, and she is a global leader in the effort to protect chimpanzees and their habitats, which is freaking amazing. And we need more people out there like that. Like I say, you know, we always need more people to help this earth and to help animals and to help us, you know, and she's doing all of that, which is amazing. And she is also the founder of the Roots and Shoots program, which is for trees, which is also amazing. So in April 2002, she was named the United Nations Messenger of Peace. Goodall is an honorary member of the World Future Council, which is freaking amazing. And fun fact, I did not know there was a World Future Council, which is wild that I just learned about that, but I wonder what they do. The Illuminati? No, just kidding. And another thing that I thought was very fascinating about her, and makes me like her even more, is that she is also a vegetarian. I'm a vegan, but she's a vegetarian, which is cool, but, like, we're both plant-based, and I think that's really cool, because I feel like more people should go plant-based just because it's a nicer and healthier way to live. And it's awesome, you know, I feel great. Come on the dark side. No, I'm just kidding. So I want to talk about this one specific event that happened to her. So a cartoonist named Larson drew a cartoon about her in the newspaper, and it basically had, like, two chimpanzees, and the one chimpanzee was picking a blonde hair out of the other one's back and was like, "Oh, you've been hanging out with a Jane Goodall tramp, huh?" And so the article, like, the cartoon called her a tramp. And at the time the cartoon came out, Jane was actually in Africa, so she obviously didn't know anything about it. But her team, who was still in America, they actually went after Larson and was, like, trying to get him to take it down and to, like, apologize and take it back, because it's, like, she's actually doing good for these chimpanzees, not doing them harm. But then when Jane got back, she seen the cartoon and she laughed about it. She's like, "This is freaking funny." She then made shirts. So she made merch out of this freaking cartoon that was bashing her. And every shirt that is sold, the proceeds actually go to the Jane Goodall Institute. So she took something that was supposed to offend her, but she turned it into something that is benefiting her institute, which is freaking amazing, and I think that's badass, you know what I mean? So that goes to say, again, if something's bothering you, or, like, somebody's throwing trash on you, take that trash and make it art. There you go. So today, Jane devotes virtually all of her time to advocacy on behalf of chimpanzees and the environment, traveling nearly 300 days a year, which is freaking a long time. You know, that means she's only home for 65 days out of a year. Does she even have a home? That's interesting, but that's freaking amazing. Like, I wonder, she's got to be a world traveler, you know what I mean, which is awesome. I want to be a world traveler, and I think that would be really cool to do that. And she's traveling to help the environment, which is even more amazing, and to help chimpanzees. And so I think that's so freaking amazing, because she's doing all this good, and we need more people out there doing good like she is doing, you know. And I hope she inspires more people to get out there and help the environment, because the environment is very in great need of our assistance right now. So to get into a little bit of her like climate change action. So in 2020, she with continuing her organization work on the environment, she vowed to plant 5 million trees, part of the 1 trillion tree initiative founded by the World Economic Forum, which is freaking amazing, because I recently watched this documentary. It's on Netflix. You can go watch it. It's about climate change, and it basically talks about how like some of the things that you can do to really make a huge impact is to plant trees. The reason is because we are destroying forests, so we're deforesting so many forests out there. We're taking away the homes of so many animals. We are killing ourselves because we're taking away oxygen that we need. So to help the whole planet, the whole atmosphere, everything, we need to plant more trees to get animals back into the forest and have a home, a safe home. And so also the trees will help us breathe better, because it will give us more oxygen. And trees just overall are good for the freaking earth. That's why the earth grows them. You know, the earth knows what it's doing, and it knows that the trees are what's good for us. So if you want to plant something, go get a tree and go plant it, because that's freaking amazing. And then you get to sit there and watch it grow huge, you know what I mean? Which is so rewarding, and it's so like accomplishing, because you get to see like something so small grow into something so big, and it's so cute, you know what I mean? But yeah, so thank you, Jane, for freaking planting all those trees and helping the climate, because we are in desperate need of that right now. Because in that documentary, it said that if we don't turn around what we've been doing, we won't have any more energy after 8 years from now. 8 years from now. So, if you keep wanting energy, you know, want that energy, go out and freaking plant some trees. If you want to keep living on this earth, go out and plant some freaking trees, you know. Just help the environment. Be kind, be cautious. Go learn about the environment, learn how you can help it, and just do your best. You know, that's all we can do. But you gotta try. So yeah. So she is also a board member for the world's largest chimpanzee sanctuary outside of Africa. And this one is Save the Chimps in Fort Pierce, Florida, which is freaking amazing. And I didn't know that they had chimpanzees in Florida, but I guess they do, which is cool. Also, during August 2019, she was honored for her contributions to science with a bronze sculpture in Midtown Manhattan alongside 9 other women, part of the Statues for Equality project, which is freaking amazing. She has her own freaking statue. I bet she's so freaking happy about that. Like, I would. I'd be like, oh my god, I'm a statue? Like, that would be so wild to me, but that's freaking awesome. And she totally deserves a freaking statue, because she has done amazing work. And she still is, because she's still kicking it, doing that amazing work, you know? So in February 2021, Jane and more than 140 scientists called on the EU Commission to abolish caging of farm animals. And this is the last point I wanted to bring up about her, because that's freaking amazing. You know, why are we caging out? Like, if you drive by, like, I don't know if anybody has ever drove by, like, a pig barn or anything like that, but, like, if you see how these animals, like these farm animals that you were eating, and you see how they're treated and how they live, I bet you would probably never eat them again, because it's horrible. You know what I mean? They never see the sunlight. They never get to go out, and it's just so freaking sad. And I'm so thankful that Jane is out there trying to stop this. And I really hope that a lot of people start being more kind, you know, not only to the environment, but to animals. And not also animals, also humans. So be kind to the environment, humans, and animals. Okay, people? Just be kind in general. We can do it, you know. I know we can all be kind. And we just need to be more cautious and learn about how to live the best that we can. And I think Jane is helping everybody with that. So thank you, Jane. I really appreciate all the work that you are doing and you have done. And you have made tremendous strides for women in primatology and women in general doing anything with science, which is freaking amazing that you're pushing that. And just thank you for caring so much. You know, I'm sure it's not easy to care as much as you probably do, but thank you, because it really means a lot for people, and it really means a lot to me, because you're showing me that I can do anything I want. I really can. And you're showing me that, you know what, just because I am in a male-dominated field, that doesn't need to stop me. I don't need to be scared of that, because it's possible for me to do it, and I'm probably inspiring other women to go into IT-related fields, which is freaking amazing. You know what I mean? So thank you, Jane, for all that you do, and I hope everybody learned a lot. That is sadly the end of this episode. So I hope everybody enjoyed, learned a lot, and overall had a good time here. So let's get into the positive segment time. Woohoo! So today's a pre-read one, so I'm just going to read it, okay? So, restoration of critical habitat for chimpanzees. So I picked this positive segment because it actually ties into chimpanzees, which I thought was really cool, so I wanted to add it. So, supported by Born Free, which is just an organization helping the environment and animals, which is amazing. The Burundi Chimpanzee and Community Project distributed over 1 million native tree, coffee, and cacao seedlings to more than 2,000 farmers in the degraded forest of the Burundi Humina district, Uganda. This is part of a process to restore critical habitat for the resident population of chimpanzees while helping achieve long-term coexistence between rural living people and their great ape neighbors, which is freaking amazing. Like I said, like, planting trees is probably one of the best steps you can do to fight against climate change. And so for me to hear that not only is the Jane Goodall Institute planning on planting 5 million trees, this Born Free organization is planning on planting 1 million trees, which is freaking amazing, and I want to say thank you for doing that, and thank you for saving chimpanzees, because, you know, save the animals. Why kill them? It's horrible. But yes, that was a positive segment. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode, and I hope everybody learned a lot, and I really hope that you can take something out of this episode, and you can make it good, you know, and make it, like, I hope this episode inspires you to do something good. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So, as always, everybody, you can follow this podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Power to Womxn, and you can also find this podcast on all podcasting mediums. Also, if you'd like to go check out my other podcast that I do with my brother called the 5 Cent Club, that'd also be awesome. Also, if you want to go follow my personal Instagram page at EmilyNichols00, I'd greatly appreciate it, and my personal Twitter page at YoungEmily1864. Almost forgot there. But as always, everybody, I hope y'all enjoy this episode. So as always, everybody, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope that you are inspired by Jane, because I know I am. And if you want to go check her out more, there's several documentaries about her, and she has written several books about the discoveries she has made and about herself. So if you want to go learn more about Jane, you can do that. And also, everybody, be kind to animals, humans, and the environment. And I'll talk to you next week. So, as always, have an amazing rest of your week. I'll see ya next time. Peace and aliens be with ya.